I'm Scout with 3 guns down as always, and welcome to the first episode of Freebies. Freebies is a series and a segment we're going to start doing on this channel that is going to highlight free-to-play games that we take a large interest in, and we think they're very good games, and we want to show them to you to see if you would like to take a large interest in them as well. A lot of free-to-play games tend to have the stigma of being nothing but a piggy bank for the developers. They don't really care about player satisfaction. They just want your money, and they don't care if you're happy with the game or not as long as you're paying for it. So we try to find games that avoid those stigmas and those narcissistic tendencies as much as possible from the developers, and that actually give a game to the player that satisfies them. Excuse me. The first one we're looking at is Warframe. I wanted to do Warframe as the first freebie, even though we have about 4 other games lined up that we want to do freebies on. This is a game we've been playing for about a month and a half now, and in that month and a half, a friend of mine and myself have been playing together, and he plays it a little bit more than I do. He's logged 170 hours in a month and a half. This is not a game you sit down and play lightly. What I'm showing off to you here now is the inventory, the mod system, my Sentinel, which also has mods you can apply to it, which you'll get one of those much later in the game if you do decide to farm for one. However, I suggest you farm for Ghost if you're playing for Stealth. If you really don't care about Stealth, get the Worm and just blow shit up. Now this is going to show you kind of how the mod system works. There is a slight learning curve with the mod system, but a large portion of the game is based around mods and mod system. As you progress through the game, actually in the very beginning of the game, you'll get to select a Warframe. Now this Warframe starts at level 1, and you start out in a very low level area, of course. As you progress through the game, your Warframe's going to level up to a max level of 30. As they level up, their shields, their health, their armor, and their ability to hold more mods is going to increase. Their power level is going to increase. No, it does not get over 9,000. As that increases, they have an affinity to hold more mods, more powerful mods, and thus they can do more. You can also attach what we call potatoes, but they're organ catalysts. You can attach those. They look like techno potatoes, okay? You can attach those to your Warframe, or weapons. I forget the other name. Orcan Reactor, yeah. You can attach those to your Warframes and weapons, and it doubles their mod capacity, which is really effective because you can upgrade those mods to where they're extremely powerful, and then you just absolutely wreck everything there is to wreck. It's so much fun. Now there is a slight learning curve with the mod system, as I said before. The numbers on the right are the number of power it takes to apply a mod. As you see, I'm applying to them. The bar on the bottom is growing smaller and smaller. That's because I'm applying the mod to them, of course. And you can double the amount that you can get. And there are 3 flavors of mods. Common, uncommon, and rare, of course. And they come in various different power levels. Now, despite the game being in open beta, and a very good open beta, it still has some bugs, like missing ceiling grates that you pop out of in every single level.
Captain Vor has lived under suspicion of possessing Orcan technology that grants him powerful abilities. We cannot allow this.
Or a guy sliced in half with his head rolling around. It's like a bobblehead Grenier. Yes, you can slice people in half, by the way. In fact, there's a lot of gore in this game, but there is, but there isn't. So you can slice people in half, dice them and everything, and cut them in tiny pieces, set them on fire, you know, cut their limbs off, everything. But there's not really that much blood. I mean, he'll be on the other side of the room in 7 pieces, but there's not that much blood. Which is weird. Because if I was in 7 pieces, there would be a lot of blood. I don't know how much, and I don't want to find out, but there would be a lot of blood. I'm just saying. I kind of wish there was a little bit more gory reaction for the fact of him being in 7 pieces. I don't know. I kind of think it's necessary, especially with some of the other weapons like the Gram or the Axe. You smack them in the face and slice 10 of them in half all at once, and there's not that much blood. Now, bosses vary from that guy you just saw, Captain Vor, to this guy, the Jackal. And there's a lot more variants of them as well. Early in the game, they are very easy. Jackal is really the first boss that poses any kind of difficulty change at all. Bosses do start to get characteristics that you do kind of have to worry about while you're in battle with them. If you have a very good 4-man group, it's actually quite easy. The next thing we're going to talk about is, of course, the marketplace, which is one of the main things we're going to talk about in every single one of these games because they are free to play, and the marketplace does play a big role in the game, not because it has to, but because the developer wants it to and they want you to buy their shit. Now, this is how many Warframes there are in the game in total, 12. Every single one of these Warframes you do not have to buy. You can build them simply by farming materials and then buying their blueprints with in-game money, in-game credits. You don't have to spend a dime. Now, it is somewhat a relatively long process to farm. Patrick played for 4 days, probably about 20 hours, 25 hours in those 4 days, and managed to farm Banshee. However, that was an extremely lucky farm. Banshee drops randomly. She is one of the Warframes. There are only a couple things that I recommend that you do buy if you want to actually buy this game, or if you want to spend money on this game, and that's the color pack, which I have, and Orkin Catalyst, Orkin Reactors, and slots for your Warframes and slots for your weapons. Those are the only things to buy. Everything else, except for I think 2 or 3 weapons, you can farm and buy the blueprints for with in-game money, credits, and make yourself. So you don't have to spend a dime on getting a new Warframe. However, you are limited to 2 Warframe slots, and I think it's 10 weapon slots. A Warframe slot and a weapon slot are 15 platinum, which is actual currency that you have to purchase. However, you are given 50 at the very beginning. So if I was you, I'd go buy 1 extra Warframe slot and maybe 1 extra weapon slot just to say you have 11. And then you're left with 20 exactly. That 20 will buy you a catalyst or an Orkin Catalyst Reactor to supercharge a weapon or a Warframe. Now, there are 3 Warframes you get to pick from in the beginning, and that is Loki, Mag, and Excalibur. And I'm not really going to go into any guides and any of these things right now because this isn't a guide. This is just kind of a review and interest to show you guys, to let you know, go play this game. It's really, really fun. But yeah, again, this is one thing I really appreciate about this game. You can take shortcuts and you can spend $100 and you can have everything else in the game, or you can set goals for yourself and have fun with it and work at it, and you can achieve things like getting new Warframes and new weapons. Now, the vistas in this game, some of the views are just simply amazing. It does get much better later on in the game. Early on in the game, you are going to have some periods where it's like environments just continuously repeat themselves over and over and over, and it gets very drab. Don't worry. Once you get off the first couple of planets, environments do change some. And then when you get into the later in-game areas, they do add some environmental changes that make them very cool. And they do add a lot of other changes that is just too much to go over right now. That does make the gameplay and environments better. While it's not AAA, quality production, it's pretty damn good for a free-to-play game. I mean, this is a lot you're getting out of for a free-to-play game. It really is. And this game being free-to-play, I just can't complain about it. Essentially, if you don't want the color pack, and you can farm Orkin Catalyst and Reactors, you can get the blueprints for them and you can build them. If you're okay with the classic color pack and you don't want to buy any other colors, you can essentially farm everything in this game with in-game materials and not spend a dime on it. Now, you will be limited to 2 Warframes and 10 weapon slots, but you can also sell Warframes and sell weapons and get rid of them and replace them with new ones to determine which one you like more. The game's gameplay itself is a lot of fun. It has a few interesting things like environmental puzzles, laser gates, hacking puzzles that you have to solve. But all in all, it's not a bad free-to-play game. I highly recommend it. I've been sinking way too much time in it. I need to stop. But I've got another free-to-play game I've been sinking way too much time into as well. That'll be next episode of Freebies, though, of course. That's pretty much it for me, though, guys. I am Scout with 3 guns down, as always. In the closing statements of Warframe, it's free. You don't pay anything. Go get it. Just go download it. It's on Steam right now. PC only, guys. I'm Scout with 3 guns down, and I'll be seeing you guys very soon.